Right, Timbo, where are we?
HarroWall. So, the big one of London, the National Performance Centre. Everyone talks about it being massive. Should we go and have a look?
Yep. Timbo, what's your first impression?
Whoa, it's a big comp wall, isn't it? Like, massive. Look how many holds are on that. That is, you know what, that is worth a lot of money on that comp wall. There's a few £1,000 worth of holds in that. That must be the biggest comp wall in London. Oh, massive islands. I think you can get on top of this for like DJ sets, which is pretty cool. And they had a massive comp here and apparently everyone was viewing all on the top of this thing. Like, that is a big comp wall. Like a Fontainebleau forest of boulders. Like, a lot of big holds. Look at those things. Woo. Love a big hold. Slabbage, lots of slabbage. Massive hold. Like, barrel, old school, love a barrel. Crimp, look at that, there's a crimp. Look, have you ever seen one of these? They don't exist in modern climbing walls much anymore. Modern crimp, look at that.
Oh, that takes me back. Do you know how to get back?
I don't know, I'm a bit lost. It's like, I feel like I need a map. Does Google Maps work in here?
Probably.
Like, oh yeah, all right, nice. Gym. Whoa, that's for you, Nick. Cameraman Nick loves lifting a weight. Oh, look at this. Well, good. I'm gonna get pumped on this. Oh, look at this. Louis Parkinson, eat your heart out. Like,
Get down from there.
I'm a parkour man.
You've got no business being there.
Right, should we go rock climbing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh!
Dinos are not my forte. Should we do some crimps?
Yeah.
We've returned to the crimp, Tim. On natural habitat.
The world of the crimp.
On natural habitat.
It's
Never
really...
mind all those dinos. Although, look, there's a few modern moves to get to the crimp, sadly.
Never escape. The macro, technical word that.
Technical, yeah. Looks like you don't need it, but my God, am I going to use it? I'm not sure I can actually get there. This would be disappointing, wouldn't it? I'm going to start here. You don't need the crimp.
Oh, mate, I tell you.
Look here.
Oh. Oh.
You just intuitively knew how to tackle that. How's that possible?
I'm a comp climber in the making at 37 years old. That's what it is.
You're 37?
Yeah.
Did you get that on camera? That was amazing.
Oh.
So I think if I was a local here, I'd be pretty happy with this.
It is a pretty spectacular collection of training boards, isn't it?
They've got everything, haven't they? They've got a lattice board, they've got a campus board, they've got a circuit board, they've got a splatter board, they've got a moon board, and they've got a board. But I love the ability to come somewhere new now, and it's got lights in them. So you don't have to get used to a board like the old days. You've got a bank of problems in there. And it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a big board.
Yeah. That's a big board, all right.
I reckon this is probably one of the most expensive problems in the wall. There's a lot of very big holds on it.
Expensive how? How much would one of those holds cost?
They're going to be like 300 quid each, aren't they? I reckon.
12 holds.
12 times 300.
It's £3,600 problem.
£3,600 problem. That's an expensive problem. Oh, 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 oh. Way.
Nice, Tim.
Oh.
You reckon you got your money's worth there, though?
Reckon I got my money's worth. Spilled from the top move. Basically, the whole thing is big. Like the comp wall's big. There's like big circuit area, and just volume of climbing is like such a massive thing. You can basically come, I think, at any level, and as like an advanced or performance climber, you can basically just get on all this big comp wall stuff and some of the harder like comp problems in and around the centre. But I think as a beginner, you've got like a whole massive area to explore.
I think I was impressed by it. Like you say, there's something for everyone, isn't there? There's like, you can see they've spent a lot of money on intro climbs as well as like the harder stuff. Like even in the background here, you can see like there's sort of font 5s and 6s with massive, big, expensive holds, but then there's also the harder stuff. And then like you could come here and get strong, couldn't you? There's like a big training area.
Oh yeah, that big training area, it's massive, and there's so much space around it as well. Like I think that's the good thing, is that you could come here for a few hours with a bunch of mates and you don't feel like you're imposing or like pushing other climbers out. Also, the one thing I hate actually is where you've got like elite training facilities right next to areas that are designed for beginners, because it's just like mega intimidating, and that just doesn't happen here. Like you've just got loads and loads of space. The one thing actually that a lad said on the way in that I thought was like a really good point, and I sort of understand it now we've been here, which was like, you come to Harrow for like a bit of a day out, like whereas like some of the walls you go to get your 2-hour session in, it's great, but it's like a facility that you use, have a bit of a nice time. But for Harrow, it's so big, sort of come and have like a proper climbing day here. There's like loads to go at, go to the cafe, cafe's really nice, loads of food, staff are really friendly with coffees and stuff. Yeah, I think it's like it's like a day out experience, I reckon. We're in Yonder, buddy. Welcome to the land of cool climbing in London.
It does look pretty sexy, doesn't it?
They've even got plants by the door.
So the first thing that strikes me when we walk in here is just the swish wooden colours.
It's pretty different, isn't it, to like the normal like white world of like most of the climbing walls. Like, yeah, like straight away green matting, wooden walls. The whole vibe's pretty different in here, isn't it? Like lighting's like pretty nice.
Although we have just come into the darkest bit of the wall. Here, into the light. Here we go.
Massive comp wall. Look at that.
Just even the way they've like spaced the problems out just looks really nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of thoughts gone in here, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's like just the whole aesthetic straight away, like capture you. You definitely want to spend like you definitely want to be in this climbing wall, don't you? It's like a nice place to be. Look at all the crazy artwork as well that's around. There's someone's like real project and love that's gone into here. Right, should we go and have a look around?
Yeah, let's have a look around.
There's quite a lot going on in there in a small space. So we've got a really nice cafe, walking into like a big training area. So this thing, apparently this board, this circuit board, all moves. It's like, so you can vary the angle. All right, what's it set at the moment? Set at like 15 degrees and it looks like it goes to 35. It's pretty cool.
We're not putting it to 35.
Yeah, we're not putting it to 35.
Mandatory training board.
Mandatory training board, that looks good.
Moon board.
Moon board. Weights area, fingerboards.
It just looks cool, doesn't it? There's like artwork, there's lovely plants everywhere, the colours are all beautiful. Like, doesn't look like your stereotypical climbing wall.
I think the guys that built this place took a lot of time, didn't they? Like, considering, like, apparently they were in the building for like over a year before they actually started to build anything, but it's pretty impressive. Like, there's actually 3 different heights to the mezzanines, which is amazing and breaks it all up. Like, we're almost in the ceiling here, and then it goes sort of down to this big slab area, and then this cafe's like sweeps around underneath.
Strikes me as a place where I'd like to spend a day. I mean, like, there's a workspace over there.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's like an addition to the wall. They support like local like artists and people working, independent workers in London through a workspace that they rent out. It's pretty amazing.
You got meeting rooms and studio space.
Yeah, there's stuff going on here, isn't there? There's like, so there's like people using the training area, there's people climbing down the comp wall, there's like some families in with the kids, like sipping coffee, there's like some meetings going on. It feels like it's a bit of a heart of like the community in Tottenham, doesn't it? Which is maybe different to some of the other walls that we've been into.
Yeah. Should we do some climbing?
Yeah, come on, I'm psyched.
I'm topping out.
What?
Are you allowed the railing?
No, railing's out, that's it. Like, yeah.
Should I do it again?
Yeah, you've messed your flash up. Oh, come on.
Come on.
Look at that.
Oh, look at you, not even... It's nothing to...
Gosh. About to fall over backwards. Nice. Dush.
Jesus.
Nick, show me your nice new merch.
Nice
Whoa.
Yonder t-shirt.
Look at that.
How old are they?
Oh, hang on. Years is what it says.
Oh, I think they're 4 years old.
Oh, 4 years. Oh, hang on. There's a 4. There's a 4. Yeah, I see that. Like, nice. Yeah, it looks good. Like, nice merch.
Yeah, I feel like I'm part of the trendy London crowd now.
Yeah, mate, we need to be a lot cooler in
A lot
here.
more fashionable, yeah. I turned up like yesterday with like muddy trousers.
Yeah.
It's not a thing here, is it? They don't have mud.
The Peak District look is not the way forward in London.
Yeah.
Almost slipped off the top of that. Hang on, what happened to that big old? It's like, it's unique, isn't it? I think they've managed to create something different, and it's a bit of an experience. All the way from walking into reception, you know, past like you suddenly walk into like green plants and like you look through a window to the wall.
Feels like the whole thing's been looked over by like an architect as well, with like quite an artistic vision.
It's been designed, isn't it? Like someone more than just like a climbing wall designer has sat down who understands like spaces and wants to give people like a bit of an experience when they come in. It definitely feels pretty different to like most other climbing walls that you go into.
Big thumbs up from me.
Yeah, big thumbs up from me. Enjoyable, very enjoyable.
Tim, we're in bloody central London.
I tell you, mate, this is like, we've seen the Thames, we've got red buses going past, and we're just about to get to VauxWall. There you go, VauxWall. So six arches, old railway arches. And it's like one of the busiest ones, I think. This hits like capacity on a regular basis. Quirky wall, just gonna have a look. First impressions, it's unusual, isn't it? Like railway arches, looks like a rabbit's warren. Look at that, it's like a kid's play centre for adults. Nice. So, standard sort of climb wall area, like definitely unusual with the arch, and then nice reception, through, little seating area, pretty good. Oh, another climbing space, like it. And then, what else we got? Whoa, nice, full gym facility, training boards, splatterboard, and whoa, comp wall. Check that out. New addition apparently. Like, looks pretty good, isn't it? Big space, considering that it's in a railway arch. I think it then goes for like another 2 railway arches, like along. So, even though it's sort of low, pretty amazed how much climbing there is here. It's yeah, and it really is like super central London. I can literally see red buses outside. Awesome. Right, let's go climb.
Oh God.
Gosh. And he wins the BBCs.
Oh yeah, you meant to match that?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God.
Oh, Pinchatron.
Look at that guy. Unbelievable.
Oh. Trad Dad.
They've sort of passed me by, these big blobby style climbs. Is it too late now to get into them? That's the best thing I've ever done.
Right, Nick Brown, what's your first impressions?
Yeah, they've packed a lot in to the space, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a pretty good use of what is fundamentally a small space, but actually it turns out there's a shed load of climbing here, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of climbing here. I think one thing that modern walls seem to do really well is they've all got amazing training facilities. Something like this, a splatterboard, especially in a local wall like this, they just sort of breed nice atmospheres and everyone's making up their own problems together. And yeah, you can get flipping strong on these things, can't you, Timmy?
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's quite a sociable place to come climbing. you could come down with like 3 or 4 mates, and it's a lot less imposing than some of the other like big competition style walls.
You basically can't not talk to people here.
Yeah, it's quite nice for that.
What's going on here, Tim?
Just a special behind the scenes shot of what 2 days of filming in London climbing walls does to you, where basically you need to retreat to a foam roller at the end of every session to desperately unknot your lats.
Got good veinage going on, look at them. Look at them.
Oh, God, it's horrendous, isn't it? Sort of great, but horrendous.
So the castle itself is an incredible Grade 2 listed building. It's actually built in 1885. Victorian building, just so many different spaces to it. The castle itself as a climbing centre was born in 1995, and we started with just one of the small areas and then slowly worked our way into all the different sections of the castle, and even today we're developing more and more sections of the building. One thing we've learned, obviously opening a climbing wall in 1995, is you can't just sit on your hands and hope that the customers are going to keep coming back. You've got to keep things fresh, keep developing things, especially now as climbing walls have become more and more modern, and we're constantly redeveloping the walls. Every wall that you see here has had to change 1 or 2 times in the last 20, 25 years.
Right, come on, Nick, let's go right to the top. What have we got up here? All right, cool. So this is one of the areas that was like refurbished in 2014. Nice, modern, like comp style sort of wall here, and then behind, right in the roof, is like a standalone boulder.
At this moment, we have this huge program of redevelopment and rebuilding more and more facilities. Make sure that we're keeping up, making sure things are fresh, but obviously walls get tired at the same time. So it's always about staying on top of it, keeping up with so many modern climbing centres now in London.
Oh, you're my hero. Sort of melts your brain on your first trip trying to get around like the whole thing.
Every time I come to the castle, they've discovered and opened a new room, it feels like.
Yeah.
It just all adds to the sort of character of the building, doesn't it?
It's funny, it's like, it's an old centre and it's obviously been around for like 20 years, but some of the modernisation in like the lead routes particularly, it feels like this has just got some depth to it. It feels like it's got like a good bit of heritage and has people that have worked in climbing for a really long time here. This was a new addition. I quite like this like slightly slabby, slightly overhanging bouldering wall, but key to the castle. The wave.
Whoa, look at this.
Classic, isn't it?
Bit of history, that, isn't it?
It is a bit of history. There's a lot of strong people that have climbed on this bit of wall and got really strong on this bit of wall.
Yeah, we're talking Ty Landman, Jim Pope.
All the big names.
Yeah.
Are we going to be that strong
Nick
after
Brown.
a session?
There's lots of new facilities and we're building things all the time, but the classic facilities are still here. They might have been reskinned or repainted a few times, but there's multiple years of characters who have come through the castle that still remember the 30-degree section downstairs or the wave training area.
Are you reminiscing, Nick?
Yeah, I've spent many an hour here in my childhood. I was probably a lot more steely-fingered then and probably a bit better than I am now. We've spent a lot of time on this wall. It's so good. The barrel features, I feel like it's kind of died a little death in modern climbing walls. People don't, I mean, look at the craftsmanship, Tim.
Whoa,
The wave,
beautiful.
the wavy barrel. It is a beautiful bit of wall. I feel like it tests a lot of different things when you're training for climbing.
Right, new area. Came recently. Forge. Nice. Nice. Like, feels quite different to the rest of the castle, actually. Massive training board.
So this is pretty cool. Aidan Roberts was training on this recently before his ascent of Alpine, the 9A in Switzerland. Right,
How do you feel about it, Nick? Do you reckon?
I reckon I'm on for it, mate, yeah.
Quick lap of Alpine?
Yeah.
The nice thing about this board is there's loads of like classic holds from like, there's like EP stuff, there's like original holds things, and they're all made from polyester, so they've all got sand in them, which basically means that they're pretty nice to hold on to for training. Awesome, amazing collection. Basically, Castle's been open for so long, we've just got loads of old school holds that they can keep reusing. It's great.
The Forge.
The Forge. What a place. If you want a bit of hold history, come to the Forge.
What do you reckon, Tim? The Castle. Classic wall.
Yeah, and that's the thing, innit? Classic's probably the best way to describe the Castle. It's been around for like over 20 years, and you sort of feel that when you come in, but that's not a bad thing. I think the one thing that you get from this place compared to the maybe like walls that have opened in like recent years is you can tell like a few generations of climbers have learned to climb here. And the building's got loads of history, the climbing's got loads of history, there's loads of like old photos of legends, there's loads of new photos of legends. I
feel they've done a good job to like rejuvenate and modernise bits of it, and it's just, yeah, it feels like it's been built with like a wealth of experience.
Yeah, I think you can fall into the like trap of thinking that the old walls have got out of date, but I think the Castle just is quite current, but in a really different way to like going to like a modern training facility.
It's such a unique building, isn't it?
Yeah,
I love it. I love it here.
It's great.
It's one of my favourite walls in the country. I'd say one of the most important things about a climbing wall is their product, and that is the route setting.
Yeah, I think like a big thing about Mile End, and particularly in more recent years, has been the route setting. Like, it's a bit legendary across the whole of London scene, really, and everyone comes here for quality problems of all grades, actually. Like a real mix, just walking around. There's like amazing problems, and they're like V0, and then there's amazing problems, and they're like Font 8A. I don't think we're going to be climbing Font 8A.
Speak for yourself, then.
Yeah. Right, should we go and find head route setter Alex Lamel? See what he has to say.
There's endless. Look, so ill. Like, look at this. Is old school Blurstone. Look at those. They don't make those anymore.
Yeah.
I think like one of the misconceptions about route setting, or not misconceptions, but maybe the obvious answer to that would be that some people would expect would be like, you've got to be able to climb really hard, or you've got to be able to, and they are skills that can help sometimes, but for me, they're not like, there's other elements and skill sets which are much more valuable for a route setter. So like someone who can communicate very well in a team. What makes a good route setter is like the team behind them and like the path they've come through, I think. You can understand now, like a good route setter is wider than just what they put on the wall. Like obviously it's a massive part of it, but I don't know, I feel like for me it's like looking a bit beyond that now. Quality of movement, something that teaches you something, i.e. like you don't do the boulder, but not because you weren't strong enough to do the boulder, you didn't work out the optimum body position. A boulder visually that draws you in and like movement and holds that are comfortable, I would say. Like those are the things like that draw me in. And I think that's what we try and achieve, obviously throughout the centre, but especially on the comp wall, like those visually striking lines and quality of movement throughout the grades, because that's what can set your wall apart from other walls, is like, you know, concentrating on the lower grade, like putting as much into the lower grades as the higher ones.
What's unique about this board?
Probably just like the depth and breadth of like holds that span, you know, a long time and have a lot of history attached to them. And also it's not just the holds, like there's a lot of people, a lot of OGs like that trained on this board. If you look at the board, like it might not be the most aesthetic looking board, but the amount of history that's attached to it is what makes people want to go there and climb the test pieces. You know, there's been people that have travelled from like, not specifically for the board, but there's people that have like come from the other side of the world and like wanted to come and climb on this board. So there must be something special about it.
I think the good thing about boards like this that are like so well established is that, you know, like the old generation where they were young got strong, and then they introduced it to like a younger generation, and then they introduced it to like another, and this has probably done like 3 generations of climbers at least now, isn't it?
Down here, and there's 2 more of these at the top of the board. The red, and then there's 2 pinks there.
Yeah.
They're Tim Wager. Now, if you know about Tim Wager, then you know your grips. That's like
yeah,
real.
I actually don't know who Tim Wager is.
No, so I mean. So if you notice on this board, like the same as when we do comps, a lot of the keyholes are marked, and we take them off, or I take them off. So I clean it periodically on a ladder, but once every year or 6 months, I take like everything off and clean it and sand all the woods down, because
nice. Good effort.
it needs to be looked after. Well, because a lot of the grips you can't get anymore. So if they just deteriorate, then we won't have warm-up 2, for example. It will be lost. You know, it's lost forever in time. So